Hornady Critical Defense 327 Federal Magnum 80 grain FTX. I've been waiting a long time to test this ammunition. I finally got a box of this ammunition. 80 grain, very light for caliber. I'm going to test it through the 1.875 inch Ruger LCR and 327 Federal Magnum. And I always like to compare cartridges to other cartridges, calibers to other calibers. And what I want to do today is compare it to the Remington HTP 357 Magnum in a 110 grain semi-jacketed hollow point. Typically 110 grain 357 Magnum is loaded really light, so it's kind of a snub nose load in a way because you're going to reduce that recoil. So both of these are very low bullet weight for caliber. So let's test these rounds and see how they compare to each other. I'm really curious about this 327 Federal Magnum. So as always, we're going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time, and then we're going to go through the Juggernaut box, which contains a 1 3/4 inch pack of bologna covered by 4 layers of denim, followed by 1/4 inch medium density fiberboard. That kind of simulates flesh and ribs behind that, and it's a water jug to catch that projectile. How this compares to Ballistic's gel: typically the back of jug 3 is about 15 inches, back of jug 4 is about 18 inches, but this is normally about the range we catch normal defensive ammunition in, normal defensive hollow point bullets. So let's get started with this test and see how they compare to each other, especially how this 327 Federal Magnum is going to do. All right, first up is the Remington HTP 357 Magnum. We're about 5 yards from the target, 4 yards from the chronograph. We'll see what we get. 12-11. No read. No read. No read. No read. Try for a few more shots and see what we can get. 1189. 1247. No read. So that's enough numbers to get at least some idea of the velocity we're getting. Now let's see how the 327 Federal Magnum compares. All right, 327 Federal Magnum. I don't know what to expect with this, but we'll see what we get. 1315. 1324. No read. 1273. No read. 1316. I'll run another one to get 5-shot average. I'll read 1295. So what I could say about this particular round of ammunition is the recoil in this LCR, which weighs 17 ounces, is about like a 38 Special Plus B. It's very low recoil. I mean, it's something I think anybody could handle reasonably well. Now let's hit the ballistics box and see how these two compare to each other. First up is the Remington HTP 110 grain semi-jacketed hollow point. We'll see how it does in the ballistic box. Pretty well. Hit with a lot of bologna here. Alright, here's our bologna pack, pretty shredded up. Here's our fiberboard, larger than bullet diameter. That normally indicates expansion within the bologna pack. So let's see what we got in water jugs. All right, first jug has significant amount of damage. That's on par with something like a 9mm plus P, something like that. Jug 2. There is a significant dent in jug 3, but it does not appear that the bullet has entered jug 3. The bullet is in the bottom of jug 2, so we're looking at about equivalent to 12 inches of ballistics gel penetration. And what we have here is actually quite impressive. Very good expansion. So expanded quite well, slowed down certainly without over penetration. That's really good. Now let's see how the 327 Federal Magnum compares. 327 Federal Magnum Critical Defense. We'll see what we get in the ballistic box. All right. Now with the 327 here, we kept the bologna pack together, but it did cause significant damage. Fiberboard, again, it looks like a little bit larger than bullet diameter, so that would indicate we got expansion before it entered the water jugs. So let's see what we got in water jugs. All right, jug 1, the damage to it looks about the same as that 357 Magnum. Maybe about 10% less, but very, very similar. Jug 2. We got quite an impact out the back of Jug 2 here. I see a hole in Jug 3. There's a significant dent out the back of Jug 3, but it does not appear that it broke through. So the bullet is in there. That would indicate about 15 inches in ballistics gel penetration, which is pretty much perfect. Now what I got with this particular shot is kind of a strange, not uniform expansion at all. A fiberboard impact almost looked like it was tumbling a little bit, and this bullet kind of would indicate it might be tumbling as well. So it looks like it hit the fiberboard and tumbled in sideways. So it was still effective, but it is not that perfect critical defense flowering that we like to see. So comparing these two rounds, I think they're both good. This actually did quite well because we got the desired penetration that we were looking for, and we also had recoil that was as light as a 38 Special Plus piece. So overall, it's not a bad round. And if we shot more of these rounds into the ballistic box here, we would probably get better expansion. Now, when we talk about that 357 Magnum, I would say overall that's a pretty good round. It had more recoil than the 327. Not by a huge amount, but a little bit more. But it has significantly less recoil than most 357 Magnum rounds, and it expanded quite well. So I would say both of these are kind of purpose-driven rounds. They're both intended to have low recoil. Both are pretty good rounds. I would say that the 357, even in the snub nose, would probably make a pretty good home defense round. I would think that that soft lead would break up pretty quickly in a hard barrier. This round would be also a pretty good round because I think you could fire it rather quickly and it still hit your target with it. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to fire a few rounds really quickly at my target just to see what I get. All right, from 7 yards with my man-sized silhouette there, I'm just going to get my front sight on the target. Then I'm going to fire rapid shots as quickly as I think I can hit center mass. And we hit center mass, a little bit of recoil there, a little bit of flash, kind of hard to keep it on target. Let's see if the 327 does any better. All right, 327 Federal Magnum Critical Defense. We'll see how this feels. I think I double clicked that a little bit. It's kind of a Ruger LCR type of thing. So it felt a little bit better. I can't say that my group was any better, but just kind of popping them off a little bit quicker. One more test. I just want to see if I slow it down how accurate these rounds are from a full 7 yards, just to get a better idea. I got 4 rounds of these HTP 357s left. I'm gonna fire them as accurately as I think I can. I'll do the same thing with the 327. That'll be a little bit more fair than going on my skill level. It's kind of messed up there a little bit. So here we go. See what we got with 357, 7 yards. I pulled that one a little bit. So not particularly well, but it did okay. Now I'll try the 327, see how that compares. All right, 4 rounds of the 327. See how I can do with these, firing a little bit slower. I like these a lot better. I like them. So that's what you get today with the 327 Federal Magnum Critical Defense. I'm not completely blown away by its performance, but I think it's not bad. It's better than the 32 H&R Critical Defense. Very easy to shoot with low recoil. So I would actually carry these with no concerns whatsoever about it. I think there might be still better rounds out there than Critical Defense. But that's what my test shows today. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.